All right, what I'm talking about, the article, I'm just going to make a little video here, is this article. Oh, come on, iPad. Turn around. Right here, Louis Tomlinson review by The Times. 1D star has epic songs, but no stagecraft. That's just rude. I'll read it to you. The one The one-time boy band member put on a weirdly undercooked gig, though his tunes were anything but, recalling the stadium bangers of Coldplay and Green Day. For a singer who spent half of his 20s performing to millions of people with One Direction, Louis Tomlinson has a staggering lack of stagecraft. For much of his gig at the OVO Hydro in Glasgow, he stuck to one spot at the top of a short walkway that cried out to be danced down. When he did move, he strolled like a man watching his wife shopping. Fortunately, his five-piece band were far feistier. Ditto to the crowd. Overwhelmingly female, many former 1D fans, some so young that they were barely born when the band broke up in 2016. They screamed, sang, filmed on their phones, and cheered when, an hour into the set, Tomlinson finally stopped to talk. "Every single person here makes a difference," the 34-year-old said. "All right, I'm out of things to say. For sure, this was a weird gig. After the opener, lemonade confetti exploded at the back of the arena, meaning most missed it. A section performed on a small stage at the end of the walkway was neither acoustic nor intimate. A drum kit, a keyboard, and guitars were laboriously shifted down. Tomlinson, ill-advised, paired black trousers with a yellow polo shirt. How I Got Harry Styles dancing. The music was a pick and mix: 90s indie, punk pop, astrophyric, mid-tempo tunes, blustery ballads, a couple of acoustic songs, some funky dance tracks, and a few full-on squally rockers. And yet, a lot of them sounded epic. Bigger Than Me could have been a Coldplay classic. Broken Bones and clubby Jump the Gun were a blast. Silver Tongues recalled early Green Day. Trippy Sunflowers was spellbinding, and last year's single Palaces, which arrived with confetti explosions on stage, was a scorcher. Tomlinson has a pleasant, if unremarkable voice. Well, at least they're giving him some accolades, but you have to get all the way down to the end of the article to hear anything good. Not even a crowd sing along could rescue Drippy Defense. What? Tomlinson has a pleasant, if not unremarkable voice, which let him down only on the acoustic numbers. Not even a crowd sing-along could rescue Drippy Defenseless. Still, his have-a-go attitude was admirable, and critics of his lack of a signature sound were proved wrong. He doesn't need one. If only Tomlinson had moved more. Come the encore, there was at least interaction with a fan down in the front. It was her 18th birthday, and the singer had promised to share a shot with her. He hopped off stage but realized he hadn't brought drinks. On a second attempt, he forgot to take his microphone, and the encounter, shown on screen, was shrouded in an eerie silence. An odd night indeed. It was just, and here is the lineup. He played 24 songs. So Lemonade, On Fire, Written All Over Your Face, Out of My System, Bigger Than Me, Saturdays, Dark to Light, Broken Bones, Defenseless, Just Hold On, Lazy, Sunflowers, Lucid, Jump the Gun, Imposter, Lucky Again, Sanity, Kill My Mind, Face the Music, Silver Tongues, The Observer, The Answer, Miss You and Palaces. The answer, Miss You and Palaces, was his encore. Okay, so like that is what I read, and I just thought like, what? And then just before I made this video, I saw that Louis actually, he's like having to pay back. He has to refund tickets. People bought tickets, and as if this is Louis's fault, it shouldn't even be put on Louis, but it's going to be coming out of his pocket because he said he will refund the concert goers because they purchased tickets and they had absolutely no view of Louis at all. So that's what's being like, it was posted probably 7 or 8 hours ago. I don't know why this isn't like coming up now. Come on, and just okay. I'm trying to find it. Oh, here it is. Louis Tomlinson's support act ADMT says 1D star showed real character with restricted view refunds. Louis Tomlinson has been praised by support act ADMT for refunding fans with restricted view tickets on his world tour. What a stand-up guy, right? Like, he didn't have to do that. You know, it's not in his control of the venue not having, like, selling tickets for seats that where there's no view. That's like beyond his control. He doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't have anything to do with that. But what a stand-up guy. He refunded everyone their money, and that just like sucks. It just feels like there's something working against Louis, right? I don't know if it's industry, I don't know if it's spiritual, but it seems like something is working against Louis. And I say this because Louis also was sick. Like, he wasn't feeling well. I just read this prior to finding this article, and it said a couple of weeks ago, right before he started this tour, that he wasn't feeling well at all. Maybe that's the reason for his, like, not moving around on stage so much. Like, there's so much that we don't know, like, as far as that performance at that venue that the man was writing about. There could have been something amiss with the stage that could have put him in some kind of harm's way. Maybe he wasn't feeling well enough to, like, actually perform the way that he normally does. Maybe he's just a human freaking being and he was having an off show, which happens all the time. So, you know, he's not alone in that. It's just the reasons why people aren't moving around and jumping around on stage could be, you know, numerous. So let's see. There was something else that was being reported. Netflix fight between Zayn Malik and Louis Tomlinson doesn't count out One Direction reunion. That's being reported by the Mirror US. And they're just talking about his set list. Louis Tomlinson in Birmingham, what fans need to know. And that's where he's going on about, like, how he wasn't feeling well, I believe. How early he's talking about how early fans can arrive to the show. This is talking about how he unfollowed Zayn amid wild reports about alleged physical altercation. Until those two come out and say something, I believe that there is a rift between the two, and there may have even been a physical altercation. But until Louis comes out and says, yeah, you know, Zayn ticked me off because he said something vile about my mother who has passed. I'm not buying the narrative of what they're putting out there. I'm also not buying, just like when they said it took place in this, like, rundown pub bar or whatever in the middle of nowhere, and I'm not buying any of it. because the reports now are different from the initial reports where they said it took place at a bar. Now they're saying it took place on set. They're also saying that Netflix has footage and that they're both, Louis and Zayn are both like kind of like crap in their drawers and not wanting the leaked footage to come out. Let it leak. Let it leak. Let's see what actually happened and transpired between the two, because it's probably not anywhere close to what they're reporting. But who knows? I hope that Zayn isn't such a creature that would crack jokes at the expense of someone's dead mother, right? Like, I hope he's not that person, but you know what? Maybe he is just an arrogant fuck that doesn't really care about how the things that he says affects another human being. It's very possible, but until Louis addresses this and like acknowledges that there was something physical and acknowledges that it was about his mother, I'm not buying into it. People just make stuff up and call it the truth all day, every day. I mean, look at half of the crap on here. Because here we go with TMZ. Zayn Malik allegedly punched Louis Tomlinson, leaving him concussed. You know, show me the medical report. Show me Louis the day after he got pummeled by Zayn. You know what I mean? I want to see receipts. I don't want to just like believe Harvey Levin, who's reporting on this 6 months after the initial report what came out. So I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I don't buy anything though that comes from the media. Like, none of it. I just say semi credible. And it turns out none of them are credible. They're all just being fed what to write about. There's no real true journalism going on these days. I don't think people are allowed to be journalists, quite frankly, not investigative journalists. I know people pretend to be, I don't know, investigating on YouTube, but they're just YouTubers. They're not really investigators. They have zero credentials and they're not very good at it. Let's just put it that way. Louis reveals his favorite song. Zayn allegedly punched Louis. Like, they're still flooding this in like the algorithm. And is that to drown out Louis' tour? Because it seems like Louis' tour is being drowned out by the rift between him and Zayn. Like, to find something on Louis, you have to kind of sift through all of that drama versus, you know, whatever. I wonder how Louis feels now that Zayn has been hospitalized. Like, does he have a heart condition? Does that affect Louis in any kind of way? Will Louis be able to find forgiveness in his heart? And, you know, if there was a rift, or if there is a rift, or whatever, if something did transpire, does he have care and concern for Zayn? Does Zayn give two shits about it? I'm curious. I wish, though, that like one of the two of them knuckleheads would just confirm or deny those rumors. I mean, I would definitely want to deny it all the way around. You know, like deny that it happened. You know, we're cool, we're good. Who knows? And there's really like no true confirmation on whether or not the Netflix thing is actually going to take off, because like last month I read that Netflix said it will be released by the end of this year. And now the reports are, oh, it's chucked, it's scrapped, they're not going through with it. I don't know. And Netflix hasn't really confirmed any of these headlines either. So no one that could actually confirm that something happened or why it got scrapped if indeed it's been scrapped. No one actually knows. So I'm just calling all of this gossip, because that's what it is. There's no true facts surrounding any of it. There's no receipts. It's just articles. And the first one came from a very non-credible source, because remember, I brought it up on the channel. I read the article, and that was that. So I'm going to end this right here. You don't have to listen to me yap and yap on about Louis, but you can ask some questions, because I'm getting my mojo back as far as the cards. I've done a handful of readings so far today, and my YouTube doesn't want to play off of my television. When I started, it just clicks right off. I don't know if anyone else is having any of those issues, but I'm a gal that doesn't watch anything from my devices. I'll read news on devices, but I won't watch videos on cell phones, iPads, laptops, or anything like that. I need the big 55-inch so that I can actually see what the heck is going on. Anyhow, you all have a wonderful day, and leave your comments and cares, concerns, all of that stuff in the comments below.